Have you noticed that lately, many Christians are practically disappearing? From empty conversations, social events, and circles where they once fit in. Suddenly, they no longer go, no longer comment, no longer share opinions.
And others look at them strangely, calling them cold, distant, or odd.
But they're not depressed. They're not losing their faith. They're responding to something only the awakened understand. God is setting them apart from the world. Not with drama, not with speeches. They simply withdraw. They grow silent. And they begin to hear what the noise once kept them from hearing. If you felt like this lately, no desire for parties, small talk, or pretending, maybe just craving some solitude, don't worry, you're not the only one. You're not disconnecting from the world, you're connecting with God. Because when you awaken, the soul stops desiring what is superficial and begins to long for what is eternal.
The silent agreement of the world.
We live in a generation that has made an invisible pact.
The pact of pretending. Pretending that entertainment fills the void. Pretending that laughter equals happiness. Pretending that material success means fulfillment.
Everyone repeats the same phrases, the same gestures, the same photos.
Everyone looks fine, even though inside they're falling apart.
The world teaches you to play a role, to look free while you're enslaved, to seem happy while you're bleeding, to shine outwardly while your soul fades within. But there comes a moment when the Holy Spirit removes the blindfold. He allows you to see behind the illusion. And then you realize that almost everything the world celebrates is just a decorated version of loneliness.
So you can no longer live the same way. You can no longer laugh at what grieves God.
Nor enjoy conversations that drain your soul, nor applaud what heaven disapproves of. You start looking around and feel something strange, as if everything has become foreign. Because what once attracted you now burdens you. And it's not boredom, it's awakening. Why the awakened withdraw? When God awakens you, He doesn't send you to argue with the world.
He calls you out of the noise, because light doesn't need to explain itself, it only needs to stay lit.
Suddenly you no longer feel drawn to certain places. You feel uncomfortable in conversations that tear others down. You no longer enjoy jokes that wound the spirit. And people begin to say you've become boring. You've changed.
And they're right, you have changed.
Because when the Spirit of God lives in you, you can't enjoy what you once enjoyed.
Your spirit has shifted frequencies. You don't withdraw because you hate people.
You withdraw because you can no longer live asleep. Because you know that what's called social life
Is often just a collective distraction to avoid facing the emptiness. Jesus said in John 12:25, "Whoever loves his life will lose it, but whoever loses it for my sake will find it." The awakened withdraw because they've understood that nothing in this world compares
To what is found in the presence of God.
If this message speaks to you and you want to receive more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, Faith Unmasked.
This is not running away from the world.
Withdrawal is not cowardice. You're not running away from the world.
You're responding to an inner calling. Your purpose isn't to compete with external distractions.
He asked you to keep silent so you could hear his voice. It's not that you can't stand people, it's that your spirit can't stand falsehood anymore.
It's not that you hate gatherings. It's that now you prefer the moments where your soul can breathe.
The Holy Spirit isn't isolating you out of disdain for the world.
But to prepare you to return differently. He's pulling you away from empty conversations to teach you to speak with purpose.
He's separating you from the crowds.
To teach you to walk with intention.
The world calls you strange, but heaven calls you set apart for purpose.
And when a profound force sets something apart, it doesn't hide it, it refines it.
Choosing God's awareness over belonging. Every child of God reaches a point where they must choose. Do I want to belong, or do I want to obey? Because following one's true path often means facing disapproval from those who prefer the familiar.
And that hurts. It hurts not to fit in.
It hurts when your friends don't understand you. It hurts when your family says you're not the same anymore.
But here's a powerful truth.
Obeying God always costs something, but disobeying Him costs your soul.
God's awareness doesn't fit into the world's conversations. Because while the world says, do what you feel, the Spirit says, do what is holy. And when you choose obedience, you discover that solitude doesn't kill, it purifies.
The world offers you belonging. A deeper journey offers you purpose.
And between the two, only one truly satisfies.
Retreat and true solitude.
When God sets you apart, He teaches you a different kind of solitude.
Not the solitude of abandonment, but the solitude of transformation.
You stop seeking company and start seeking presence.
You stop filling silence with noise and start filling it with prayer.
That's when you understand that being alone isn't being empty. It's being available to God.
A wise figure also withdrew to pray in lonely places.
Because even the Son of Man needed silence to sustain his purpose.
In true solitude, you learn that the soul doesn't need an audience. It needs direction.
And that the heart doesn't heal through human words, but through the Father's voice.
So if you've been quieter lately, more selective, more reserved,
Don't blame yourself. God is training you in the art of being alone with Him. The phase of holy retreat. Some might call it the hermit phase. But in the kingdom, there are no hermits, only the set apart.
Set apart, to be filled, to be shaped, to be sent.
This is the phase where the Spirit teaches you what no one else could.
He shows you who you are, without masks, without applause, without distractions.
Ere you realize how much inner noise was within you. How many voices tried to replace his.
How many times you sought love in places that only offered temporary approval.
God leads you into silence to restore your identity. To remind you that you are not what you do, nor what you achieve, nor what others say about you.
You are His beloved child. And when that truth settles into your spirit, nothing external can manipulate you again.
Holy retreat is not confinement. It's rebirth. The fire shapes you. The silence purifies you. And solitude rebuilds you.
The return with authenticity.
After a season of retreat, you return, but you return different. You no longer feel the need to explain anything. You no longer seek to defend yourself. You no longer care whether others understand or not.
Because now you understand. You understand that you don't need to be seen to have value.
You understand that you don't need to be everywhere to be part of the plan.
You understand that you weren't called to please the world, but to reflect the Creator.
Your life begins to shine differently.
Your peace becomes your testimony. Your silence becomes your message.
And without saying a word, your mere presence unsettles the sleepers
And inspires those who are beginning to awaken.
That is the power of authenticity. The purpose of retreat.
God didn't set you apart to punish you.
He sets you apart because there are things that can only be learned in silence. The purpose of retreat is to return with something real.
The world doesn't need more loud declarations. It needs individuals with deep convictions.
When God pulls you out of the crowd, He's showing you that your value doesn't depend on visibility.
That the influence of the kingdom isn't measured in followers,
But in obedience. Retreat is the workshop where the Spirit repairs your vision,
Purifies your motivation and sharpens your discernment.
After that season, you no longer live to meet expectations. You live to fulfill purpose.
And that changes everything. The call to disappear.
There comes a moment in the spiritual life when God says, disappear for a while, not to punish you,
but to protect what is growing in you.
He turns off the spotlights, disconnects you from the noise, and hides you under his shadow. You don't understand it at first. You feel like you're being forgotten.
But with time, you discover something. You weren't forgotten, you were preserved.
The world seeks attention. Inner wisdom seeks transformation. And there is no transformation without isolation.
So if today you feel like everyone else is moving on with their lives, while yours seems paused,
Don't fear. That pause is part of the plan.
The silence of today will become the strength of tomorrow.
Allow yourself to disappear.
Stop resisting the process. Stop trying to return to places where you no longer belong.
Stop reviving friendships that God already ended with purpose.
Allow yourself to disappear. Turn off the noise.
Return to the secret place. God doesn't need you to explain your retreat. He needs you to live it. During this time, He will cleanse your heart of attachments.
Heal your disappointments and restore your focus. You'll learn to enjoy the peace of not having to be everywhere, the freedom of saying no,
and the assurance that even if the world doesn't see you, the universe does.
Allow yourself to disappear, because the one who disappears in God returns with glory. Jesus also disappeared from the crowds many times.
He went up the mountain alone. And when he came down, he brought revelation, power, and direction.
You need those moments too.
Not to lose yourself, but to find yourself again in Him.
Disappearing is not giving up, it's maturing.
The world will tell you that you're fading away, but heaven knows you're being prepared.
The caterpillar seems to die, but it's being transformed into a butterfly.
The seed seems buried, but it's germinating life. So it is with you. When you disappear from the world's noise, God is writing a new chapter in silence.
And when you return, you will return with clarity, purpose, and a faith that doesn't depend on applause.
So don't feel bad for not fitting in, for not responding, for not wanting to be everywhere.
The Spirit is teaching you something few understand. You were not born to participate in the noise. You were born to carry His presence.
If this message spoke to you, subscribe to Faith Unmasked to keep receiving messages that help you walk away.
So there you have it. This journey of disappearing isn't about running away, is it? It's about finding your true self, your true purpose, away from all the noise.